You can't tell me this don't look like a filter. It's giving flawless. It's giving baddie.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it. Saying if you a bad bitch, put your hands up high. Hands up high.
Close your eyes to get away. Just bang my line and I'll afraid.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Trea Monáe, and today we're gonna go over this flawless glam look. It's 2025. Let's go ahead and level up our makeup game. If you aren't tuned in, go ahead and tune in now. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it. All right, so for today, I already prepped my skin for the most part, but the last thing I'm gonna go into is the Aquaphor. Y'all, this stuff is so good for your base, especially if you have dry skin. It just helps the makeup glide on and gives it a perfect, flawless look. I'm just gonna put that all over my face, make sure I rub it in, get underneath my eyes. And make sure you are gentle when you're rubbing this stuff in. Don't be going in all rough. All right, so now that I got my Aquaphor on to like really hydrate and moisturize my face, the next thing you're gonna do is go in with your primer. So this is the primer that I'm using for today. It's the, ooh, y'all cannot pronounce this, Embryolisse Lait-Crème Concentrate. This is the one that a lot of pro MUAs use. So I've been using it ever since I heard about it, and it honestly does the job perfectly. Primer is just a barrier between your makeup to make sure that your skin is still protected underneath your layers. All right, y'all, I did my brows off camera, but this is the part where you do your brows. I know there's a lot of back and forth about the order of makeup, but I swear this is like the best order to do your makeup. The next thing you're gonna do is your eyes, because whatever excess falls down, you can clean it up later with your foundation. I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill palette. I just love the colors in here, especially for the brown girls. So I'm gonna go in with a nice little angled brush. I'm gonna take this color Boo Bear, tap a little bit of that, and I'm gonna go in and put it on my lid. I'm gonna put it at an angle. So you see how I'm pointing this brush up? I'm gonna go ahead and put it at an angle so that it kind of already gives you that shape. I feel like these brushes are so much easier than trying to use a flat brush, because this one already gives you a precise shape. And then kind of curve it upward so it can already make that transition. Like, look at that. You see how I just naturally made, I didn't do a whole lot. It already has the shape that I want. You're just gonna drag it all the way in. And now you can start going over your lid with it. And now that you have the shape that you want, then you can go in with the puffier brush. I'm gonna use my two-sided eyebrow blending brush to actually blend it out a little bit more. So I'm just going in circular motions, just blending it out so it just looks more seamless. And I'm gonna take this color Good Vibes. I'm gonna flip the brush and use this side. Tap a little bit on there, tap the excess off. And I'm only gonna put this in the inner corner. If I need a little bit more, I'm gonna take a little bit more and pack it in the inner corner again. Not going too high, I'm just kind of centralizing it in the inner corner. I'm gonna take my other brush to just kind of blend it together, make sure that there's a nice transition from the light color to the dark. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other eye. You working smarter, not harder. I also sometimes take my finger if it's getting a little higher than I want it to be, and I just drag it on out. It don't have to be perfect. A nice eyeshadow eyeliner is usually best, especially if you're going for a more natural glam look. So I'm gonna go back in with the OG Nudes Palettes by Maybelline, and I'm going in with the black for my eyeliner. All right, so I'm gonna go in with another angle brush like this. I'm gonna take that black, just tap a little bit in there, tap off the excess. And something that I like to do too is I like to pinch it to make sure that it's really precise. It's still gonna have product on it, but it just helps you with the shape. So I'm gonna make just a little baby wing, make a little line going up, and go ahead and connect it to the other half of your lid. Just like that. And you're gonna lightly drag that out. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take away. It's gonna be harder to take away. So you're just gonna slowly drag it out. Do the same thing for the other side. And I'm using the angle brush to literally make the wing. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the face. The next thing you're gonna be doing is the foundation and color corrector. The color corrector is optional. It's more so if you have dark spots that you want to cover up. I'm gonna do my under eye because the under eyes is like another area that can get a little dark, and so if you want to cover that up, I'm gonna use the Collab color corrector because I just feel like it's the perfect orange, and I'm gonna lightly put it underneath my eyes, just a little bit. You really don't need too much either, so I might put it on this little red pimple down here. And then you always have to make sure that you blend it out, otherwise it's gonna look way too harsh and you do not want that. So now I'm gonna take a little brush like this and I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I blend it in. When you go underneath your eyes, make sure you're looking up too so that it gets under and doesn't crease. So now that we're color corrected, we are ready for the foundation step. So a foundation is like the base of your makeup look. I'm gonna be going in again with the Too Faced foundation. I like to shake it up just because I feel like it gives it a better application. You're gonna go ahead and pump it on your hands. This is a really good trick that I learned, to pump it on your hand because it really warms up the product first instead of putting it directly on your face. You're gonna go in with a big puffy foundation brush. I recommend a brush to a blender because I just feel like it looks more skin-like. You're gonna rub it in to your hand. Again, you're warming that up so that it doesn't, or so that it blends more seamlessly onto your face. And they're gonna take your brush and go ahead and start dabbing it. Ooh, not my hair trying to play with me. You're gonna take it up to your ear. But do you see how I'm building the product? I'm never going in with the whole bunch and having to blend out extra. I'm just building it, blending it, and just dabbing it in there. And then I'm making sure I'm blending it and kind of like a dab swipe motion, going to my ears. Start bringing it up to the forehead. Again, I'm dabbing and blending it in there. Make sure you get on the side of your nose. The next thing I'm gonna go ahead and start doing is my concealer, contour, and blush. These three kind of go a little hand in hand. So for my concealer, I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Cameo Concealer. This is a really, really good concealer and it's nice and affordable. I'm gonna take a little bit of this excess off because a lot kind of comes out and you don't really need all that. I'm gonna take that angled brush that they got on there and I'm gonna put it in my inner corner and just drag it out. I'm not gonna put too much. I'm just gonna put about that much on there. I'm going to trace the eyeliner. I'm gonna be really close to it and just like lightly kind of trace it. Make sure you don't leave this looking spacey or like it has gaps in your concealer, because that's how it's gonna blend out. So you see how I just filled in any spaces? The same thing for the other side. Kind of doing like a little triangle motion. I want to drag a little line down here and put it on my peach fuzz area, my chin, my nose. I don't like to do too much on the forehead. I just like to do a little bit because I just don't like in pictures. If you get a little cast, then that is the main spot. All right, boom. This is all you need. You really don't need a whole lot. You need to let this sit for a little bit. You don't want it to blend right away because it's gonna look even more seamless and melted if you let it sit. So while this is sitting, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my contour and my blush. I'm gonna take my ColourPop, it's like a little red undertone, and I'm gonna do little dots in the shape of a 3. I'm starting at my cheekbone. I'm just tracing the cheekbone. I'm going a little bit above. I'm gonna go up and do some dots down. Gonna make sure I bring it around to my forehead. Little dots are the best way to do it. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side and bring it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna blend it all together at the end, and then doing the same thing, doing a little bit on my nose, just going on the sides of my nose and going at the bottom like that. Then you're gonna go ahead and take an angle brush. So I'm gonna take this angle brush from that Amazon kit. I just got all of my brushes from the Amazon kit. And I'm gonna start with the bottom, and facing the angle upward, I'm gonna go ahead and start blending it in little circles. This is what's gonna give it that seamless blend. Ooh, not a hair. Little circles. When I get to the cheekbone, I like to kind of dab it just to be more precise. Remember to try to manipulate the tools to make them work for you. So like I might pinch my brush to make sure that it's a little more precise in the areas I want it if it gets a little too puffy for me. You're gonna lightly dab, 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 dab. Just dab it. When you get to the forehead, sometimes I like to go down a little bit just so that it starts kind of going closer and kind of closing in my forehead, because I don't need my big forehead showing. Going around. Still dapping again. When I get up here, I kind of go in an upward motion. You're trying to pull your face up. So I'm kind of going in an upward motion when it comes to my cheekbones. Okay, at this point is when I like to kind of refresh and make sure I'm setting in between my makeup just to keep it hydrated. So I'm gonna go ahead and do with my Milani Make It Last Original Spray to just refresh my makeup. And kind of start the melting process. While that is doing its thing, I'm gonna go in with my blush. I'm taking the Rare Beauty Blush Enjoy, y'all. This is like my favorite blush. Like I'm obsessed with this, especially for the brown girls. You put a few dots on your cheekbone. I'm taking it above where I place my contour because again, you want it to look lifted. You want like a nice little cheeky look. You take your puffy blush brush and you kind of dab it. It's like dab swipe. You're like dabbing it, but you're also swiping it to where you want it to go. So I want it to go upwards, so I'm kind of dabbing it and swiping it up at the same time. Boom. And do we see how that's blending out? And how quickly it's blending out too when I do that. Again, it's too puffy, I'm gonna pinch it. Get it to where I want it to be for a little bit. I'm just gonna blend the blush up so it just gives like a nice little sun-kissed look. Like that. Now you're ready to blend your concealer. So you're gonna take your beauty blender. I've tried spraying it with the setting spray. I've tried it dry. The best thing is to have a damp beauty blender with water. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some water on my beauty blender. Now you're gonna take your damp beauty blender and you're going to go ahead and start pressing in your concealer. I usually start at the inner corner. And you're gonna lightly tap and blend your concealer. I'm lightly tapping it in. I'm going up towards the nose, but I'm tapping. Remember, you look up so that your crease does not mess up the look. When I start getting to this part, I flip over my beauty blender and I kind of start going downward because I want to centralize it to this area. I don't want it to drag out too much. Being very careful when you go by your eyeliner because you don't want to mess up your eyeliner. So again, you take that other end to really help you make it more precise. I'm gonna go down and around. And don't worry about this. We're gonna clean this part up later. Just leave it as is for now. I like to go on with that same angle brush that I use for my brown liner. And I just use it on the side to angle out my nose contour because I just feel like it gives it the best shape. Just letting the angle do the work. Letting the angle of the brush do most of the work. Blending it up into your eyelid to give it the most seamless look and make sure everything blending together. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my foundation brush and I'm going to go ahead and blend it over here where I drag that concealer out, just to make sure that it's blended together and that it's not harsh. And I'm just kind of gonna make sure any other spots that I want to be blended, go a little bit over with the foundation brush. I feel like this just pulls everything together and makes everything just look cohesive. Just like that. Boom. All right, now it's time for the powders. The setting powder is really what's gonna just set everything in place and make sure that it lasts. So I've been loving the One Size powder, the Ultra Pink. I don't know, something about it, y'all. I don't know if it's because I love pink or what, but it's something about it. So I like to go in with the angled puff brush. I put a little bit in the product. This is kind of a lot. And then I go ahead and tap it off so that it looks nice and blend it like this. I'm gonna lightly tap it underneath, lightly tapping it in there. I'm not pressing it down. I'm not doing too much. I'm just lightly tapping it in there, making sure it's set. So while that's doing its thing, I'm not going to do a heavy bake. I'm just gonna do like a light little bake. So while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go back in with the same angle brush that I use for my contour. And I'm actually going to put some bronzer on it. The Fenty bronzer is so amazing for the brown girlies. So I'm gonna take my Fenty Beauty Mini Bronzer. I'm gonna rub a little bit of that in there, tap off the excess. And I'm gonna angle my brush upward and start literally brushing upward. Again, I'm trying to pull my face up, brushing it upward. And y'all, bronzer just kind of like adds some color to your face and just makes it look nice and bronzed, literally. Same thing for the other side. And that's pretty much all you need. I love the cute little bronze gingerbread cookie. Like, it's just so cute to me. So now that I got my bronze done, I am gonna go back in with some powder brush. I already put my liquid blush, but now I wanna put some powder on here. So for today, oh, y'all, I love blush so much. Which one do I want? I'm gonna go in with my Sephora colorful one. If you're a beginner, I don't know, I just really like this color, especially for brown skin. And it's really affordable. So you're gonna take your blush brush, tap a little bit on there, tap the excess off, and lightly just dab it on there. It's such a like nice peachy pink color. Just like that. Not too much, just a few little taps. Tapping it around the same place I put it. And like tapping it upward. I feel like a lot of people go wrong because they're not like moving it up. You want your face to look lifted, so you got to go in an upward motion. I feel like my setting powder has set for a pretty decent amount, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pressing it in. So the first time I kind of tapped it a bit, but now I'm gonna head and start pressing it into my face. So I'm gonna take my same powder brush and just press it in. If it's one thing that you remember from today's video, manipulate the tools for you. Whatever works best for you. If you need to flip the beauty blender, angle the brush differently, do what you need to do. Whatever works best for you is what's gonna make it so much easier. right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera to do my lashes really quick, and then I'll be back to do the finishing touches. All right, y'all, lashes are on. I just did a cute little individual lash set. I don't like to go too far to my inner corner because I feel like that's when your eyes start to get irritated. I don't know, for me, that's just a personal preference. I like when they look a little wispy on the outside. So this is the lash look that I'm going for. Now for final touches, I'm gonna take my Bobbi Brown brush, ultra fine eyeliner, and I'm gonna go back in with that black eyeliner that I used. So all I'm gonna do is take that brush. Sometimes I like to take my little puff just to make sure I don't mess it up. And I just lightly, you're gonna lightly drag it along the line. You're literally just drawing a line on there. Boom. All right, so now we can see it's looking all pulled together. It's looking flawless. It's looking pretty good. We're doing a few more final touches and then we're all done. All right, next is lips. Dang, my lips low-key been dry this whole video. That's crazy. I could at least put a little lip treatment on there or something, but it's fine. I'm gonna go in with my favorite eyeliner right now. The NYX Club Hopper. I'm gonna take my pencil sharpener. Y'all, if you are using a pencil, always keep a pencil sharpener on you handy because that's just gonna create the best lip liner look for you. So now that I got it nice and pointed, I'm gonna trace my lips as precise as I can and draw like a little bit on the tip. Like a little bit on the tip of my lip so that it can look more full. You see I'm going like all the way to the top. Put a little point on my lip just to give it a little shaping. I'm gonna go ahead and start going in with my lipsticks. Y'all, I use a lot of lipsticks sometimes. It just kind of depends on the mood. But for today, I'm gonna go in with my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Berlin. And that's what I'm gonna use like on the outside. We got my base look. I'm gonna go on with my Beauty Supply lipstick, y'all. This is Sugar Butter Lipstick. It's just a random one I got from the Beauty Supply one day. It's Matte Unveiled. Really going more to the center and then just lightly pressing your lips together. Now I'm gonna go on with my glosses. So I'm gonna take the very viral Butter Gloss in Fortune Cookie. And that's what I'm gonna put in my center. And then on the outside, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Praline. This is like so gone. It don't even make no sense. There we go. And you can add some more gloss. I'm trying to think, do I want to add a little bit more clear gloss? All right, y'all, that is the end of this video. I added a little bit more gloss on, but if you like this video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and join my community. I'm gonna be posting a lot more, so please stay tuned. Bye, y'all.